Alright, what's up, y'all? LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about the 5 badges that need to be nerfed in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Now, I don't know why I haven't done this video earlier in the year. I feel like this is something that maybe would be better to discuss in like September, December type stuff like that. But either way, I still feel like it's a pretty general known thing that some of these badges really need to be nerfed, and I wanted to discuss them and just talk about them one by one. So I hope y'all enjoy the video. If you do, for drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to win 500 likes. Now, the reason I'm looking at a 5'10 guard is because a lot of the badges that we're talking about in today's video are applied to a build like this, where you need the ratings that this build can achieve to be able to get some of the badges. Like, let's just say a lot of the shooting badges that require 99 3-pointer or high overall playmaking badges, stuff like that. But anyway, we're not going to dance around the topic too much. We're going to get straight into this. Now, I want to start with the badge that starts the chain reaction. It's the whole creating process of making some of the shooting badges toxic. And we're talking about tight handles. So, this badge right here, I just got to say, it's complete RNG BS. It's just something where you're going to just spam moves and luckily get a tight handles every now and then. It's like critical hits in Pokemon. I know it's a dweeb reference, but it's just luck. It's just luck-based stuff, and it doesn't take skill to use this badge. You just spam moves, and it's going to tight handle someone eventually, and when they do get tight handled, you just are able to literally outrun them because they are a step behind you. And now that they're a step behind you, we talk about the toxic shooting badges. So we have things like Circus 3s, where this badge was buffed. It was originally just for hop, step, spins, step backs, and now they made it so it works for pull-ups as well, aka fadeaway 3-pointers, and that's all anybody uses this for anymore. I thought the badge was really balanced, and it was a really good thing when it only worked for hop backs and step backs and like spins and stuff like that. But now that it works for fades, you just see the typical 2K toxicity where fading is just better than standing still shooting, and it makes no sense. That's never ever going to be a real life thing, and really it doesn't make any sense from a game's perspective either, because again, it makes it hard for defenders to keep up with point guards when they can just pull up and shoot on the fly anywhere that they're running, and they don't have to quick stop or anything. When they quick stop, it gives an indication that they're maybe going to shoot the ball, and you can get ready to contest it. But with the fading, there's literally no way to defend the person that you're guarding unless you predict where they're going to go, and if you overstep one way too hard, then boom, they can just go back the other way and fade that way. So I've seen this displayed in 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, now 5s is going crazy as well, and it's just a toxic badge, to be honest with you. I think this definitely needs to see a nerf 100%. That's the whole point of this video, is top 5 badges that need to be nerfed. I think it's very easily nerfed as well. You can just put it back to the way that it used to be, where it only works for hop backs, spins, step backs, stuff like that. You do not want this dealing with fades. I just feel like it's a stupid badge. It just makes it so fading is way too overpowered, and really, to be honest, it devalues the ability to dribble the ball and actually get yourself open. This badge right here just literally allows you to sprint off a screen and just fade. It's so dumb. I really do not like the badge being in the game. And then to add to it, you have a couple of badges that negate contests. So we have things like blinders, where once again, if people are trailing you too hard, you're gonna get side contests. You're not gonna be able to get square in front of them and be able to get right in their face and contest it. And with blinders, it just amplifies that even more. It's such a toxic badge, again, like I said. And even another thing too, like with crabs and stuff like that, this is also a really good badge. Overall, I understand this one's a little bit more of a necessity than Circus 3s. I think Circus 3 is just a stupid toxic badge, whereas blinders, it does reward a little bit of an offensive player getting open. It's just, really, if you're getting open, you should be open. I just think like having things that negate contests really are frustrating from a defender's perspective, because you could be right in a guy's face this year or get one of those side contests and stuff like that, right? And let's say they have blinders, mismatch expert, deadeye, all types of stuff like that. Not to mention they have 99 3-pointer with things like, obviously, like I said, Circus 3s makes it super hard to guard fades in general. You have things like Hot Zone Hunter, Sniper as well is another stupid badge. It actually didn't make my list, but it's another one that could viably be on here. You have even things like Stop and Pop. Like I said, I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just contested shooting is so dumb in this game, and it just needs some work on that. I'll put it like that for sure. And I think nerfing things like blinders, or the other badge that we're going to talk about as well with Mismatch Expert, it could be really convenient for this game's sake. Alright, so first and foremost, when we talk about Mismatch Expert, let's talk about what the badge is saying that it does. I think this is complete BS. It says after forcing the switch, a player with this badge will have more success when shooting over the taller defender. I think just in general, it helps you shoot over taller defenders, and even if you're like only 3 inches taller than them, let's say you have this 5'10 point guard right here, and you have maybe a 6'3" guarding him or something like that. It still works for Mismatch Expert. It's so dumb that that's a thing. Now here's where I think you get good balance in the game just without having to have this badge. I think it already is done as well. 7'3" centers have really low perimeter defense. They have like perimeter D in the 50s or something like that, and it's very easy for you to be able to shoot over those taller builds even without Mismatch Expert, because just in general they have bad perimeter defense and they have bad lateral quickness, they have bad speed. Just in general, it's hard for them to keep up with these PGs, and you should be able to create your shot against these taller centers. It's literally as simple as that. Or if the game balanced speed a little bit better as well. The fact that a 7'3" can still have 61 speed is pretty ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. I think it would be more reasonable if they only had, let's say, like 50s in speed, even if you did go minimum weight, because let's be honest, I mean, it is kind of dumb that 7'3s can sort of hold their own on perimeter defense, but that's a topic for a different video, because then we even still have like 6'7" lockdowns that only have 82 speed, or 6'9" locks that have like 78, something like that. I mean, long story short, I just don't think it's really great for the game when it's just constantly hard for defenders to get contest against smaller players. And I'm gonna just be honest, like the fact that 5'10" and 5'9" point guards rule the game, it is kind of dumb. Now I do think it's good for balance as far as the point guard position goes. In the years past, there's never been a reason to really make a smaller PG because, I mean, let's just be honest with it. I mean, you could get Hall of Fame quick first step on a 6'7" player last year. It was pretty stupid. I don't think that was a really good thing for the game. And there was no guard balance. Like, nobody made smaller PGs until maybe for Pro-Am when they needed like 6'3", 6'2", stuff like that. But even back then, nobody made 5'10", 5'9" point guards. Even, let's say, 2K20. There was really no need to go any shorter than 6'1" because you still get 99 speed with ball at 6'1". So same thing with current gen on 2K21. So I will say it's good for the sake of height balancing when it comes to builds at the point guard position, that smaller guards can dominate in this sense, and it actually does get, let's say, Mismatch Expert at 94 3-pointer, even though taller guards can get that. But let's just say Hall of Fame blinders, 99 3. You have even things like, obviously, Deadeye, where you need 98 3-pointer for as well. I do think it's a good idea to let smaller guards have the higher 3-pointer, but it's just tough, man, because I think some of these badges are just so dominant at the Hall of Fame level. So, I don't know. I think overall, for the sake of balancing, I don't think it's really good for the game when you have the ability to shoot contested. We've already talked about that plenty, though. So, anyway, you guys get my deal with that. And again, just to backtrack one time real quick to talk about tight handles again, just how it's tied in with all those shooting badges as well. It really does get toxic. I mean, I don't know what you're meant to do as a defender when the clear badge to counter this is ankle braces. It does say lowers the likelihood of getting ankle broken by opposing dribble moves. It also counters tight handles. I don't know why they don't mention it in the badge description. But either way, this is your counter to tight handles. But it still doesn't work at an elite level, even at Hall of Fame, just because, I mean, they just favor offense. And you know, I've always felt like this, to be honest with you. I feel like when it comes to the ball handler versus on-ball defender interactions and stuff like that in 2K, I feel like it should be bad stick that makes you get ankles broke or makes you get tight handled and stuff like that. If you're not even touching your stick at all, why would you get your ankles broke? I mean, that was the most ridiculous stuff back in 2K17, where dudes would just spam Hall of Fame ankle breakers with Playmaker Takeover. Dudes would be standing still holding their LT, doing nothing, like moving nowhere, and their player just gets broke. That's like one of the dumbest things I've seen in 2K, honestly, ever. And it kind of is the same thing with tight handles. I mean, you don't like react one way or like super hard or the other, yet you still get stunned just because a person dribbles the ball. I mean, you could be moving your stick perfectly in that same direction as he's starting to move, and the game just won't let you. I just think when it comes to those ball handler and on-ball defender interactions, it should be more about stick. And if you do a bad move as a defender and you move the wrong way, then boom, get your ankles broke if you do a really good dribble move in the same time of that. Or maybe let's just say for lesser perimeter defender players. Like, again, I think having super high perimeter defense and Hall of Fame ankle braces should protect you from all types of tight handle stuns and ankle breakers as well, because you're an elite on-ball defender. You're not going to do some stupid stuff like that. I mean, that's just common sense. But honestly, the game is just at the mercy of ball handlers. I mean, you can just spam moves over and over again. Size up, size up, size up, size up, size up, size up, size up with tight handles, and eventually you're going to get one. And then you can just run off it, and it's just dumb. So, I don't know. Maybe dribble fatigue is another thing that could fix that as well when it comes to a game, like just gameplay balancing and making it so you can't just spam moves over and over again until you get a good tight handles. But overall, that's my impression on those 4 badges. We have the 1 with tight handles, we have the 2 shooting badges that help you shoot contested with blinders and Mismatch Expert, and we talk about Circus 3s as well for the fading, combined with, again, tight handles. So, now let's talk about one thing that doesn't deal with point guards. It's kind of the opposite. We want to talk about fast twitch. So here's my impression when it comes to paint defense in this game. I think you can do one or two things. You either nerf fast twitch or you buff pogo stick. And here's my reason for saying stuff like that. If fast twitch stays as good as it is currently, I think you could definitely counteract it with having pogo stick. Again, same thing we just talked about with ankle braces, countering tight handles. I think it'd be really good if you give defensive counter badges that negate people running certain offensive dominant things. I mean, it's good if an offensive player can dominate a bad defender. Like if you only have bronze ankle braces, yeah, you should get exposed for having horrible on-ball D. And same with if you have a really bad block rating or something like that, and you're still trying to be someone who can constantly just keep up in that interior on the paint. And if you have Hall of Fame pogo stick, I think it should counteract fast twitch Hall of Fame really well. I mean, those are direct counters to each other as far as the interactions of the game. Yet pogo stick is just not that good and fast twitch is elite. It's literally as simple as that. So again, the mechanics of the game make fast twitch even better. I think that's the real problem. Like the fact that you can just pump fake, pump fake, pump fake, and then instantly get out of your pump fake and go up with that dunk or layup. And not to mention just the fact that close shot layups are so dominant, especially from taller players as well. And that's where we come back to maybe if 7-3s had less speed and they'd get exposed in, let's say, pick and roll defense a little bit more if you could force them into those. Or just in general, not being able to get up the court quite as fast if you're talking about like 5v5 or something like that. Just in general, I feel like overall there's a lot this game could use for different changes and buffs and nerfs and stuff like that, but I want to talk about some of the 5 badges that I thought really need the most work. So anyway, those are my top 5 badges that need to be nerfed in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. An honorable mention would probably be Sniper. I think this badge is kind of, I'm not going to say it's grown on me, but it's more understandable in my opinion. I will say though, it is kind of stupid that you can just reward people for being semi-open on anything. I was more frustrated with this badge when it came to Park than I am Pro-Am. As I've played more Pro-Am, this badge really isn't that big a deal, if you ask me. However, when you're playing Park and you're dealing with people that maybe can't even time their jump shots that great, yet they're getting it like in the slightly range, it's still makeable by all means. So, I don't know, this is more of a badge that frustrated me while playing Park or 3v3. In Pro-Am, not as big of a deal. So this is just one, I wanted to make it my honorable mention. But anyway, that's all video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new to them noties, all that good stuff. Like always, tries 1 to 500 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, leave some feedback as well, but feel free to just put 99 in the comments if you made it to the end of the vid. But again, feel free to leave some feedback. Let me know what you think as far as some badges that need to be nerfed, and we'll talk about badges that need to be buffed pretty soon. Might even do it tomorrow if you guys enjoyed this video enough. But anyway, that's all vid. Hope y'all enjoyed. And on that, take it easy, man. Peace.